Well, kia ora and welcome into the Harness Half Hour, now proudly brought to you by Airpark Canterbury and HRNZ Marketing. I'm Jess Smith, and this week on the show we take our focus to this Saturday's IRT Harness Jewels at Addington Raceway. We'll talk to Addington Track Manager John Denton about the huge amount of work that has gone into preparing the venue for Saturday, Keryn McElroy of Addington Raceway regarding owners' privileges and hospitality, and Richard Cole of IRT chats about the excitement leading up to the big day. Our bookie update with Richard Wilson this week will also focus on the IRT Harness Jewels markets. But first, here are the headlines. The IRT Harness Jewels fields are now out. The final fields are set and available on the HRNZ website. You can check out our homepage for more information and also a link to Addington for ticket information. TAB final field markets are also out. Now, to find these, the link can be found by visiting the HRNZ website on our main news reel. You can follow the link to the final field markets from our website. And the HRNZ lift out, you can find that on Thursday afternoon on our website. It'll include stories on each race and also selections from experts. Well, of course, our focus for the podcast this week is on the IRT Harness Jewels, and one of the people tasked with the huge task of putting together the facilities and the track for the IRT Harness Jewels is John Denton. John, thank you so much for your time, and currently it's Monday and the marquee's going up on the roof. My goodness, that's going to be a massive hit on Saturday.
Yes, Jess. Things are already starting to move. It's quite a large marquee which goes on the stable roof. It takes up pretty much most of the stable roof. There's going to be good facilities and good cover for the public that attend in that area.
Yeah. And I understand that it is a public area, but also Boys Get Paid are going to be there and the Witches, so there's going to be a lot of noise there.
Yes, well, the Boys Get Paid syndicate, they made a bit of noise at Cambridge last year, as you're well aware, so it'll be quite good for a bit more atmosphere down that end. So, it should be a good area to be, and it should be excellent viewing.
Luckily for Addington and of course the likes of yourself, you're well versed in putting up marquees and getting things ready for a big race day, but what are some of the challenges in putting a marquee, say, on a rooftop like that one?
Yeah, the biggest challenges for us is obviously the weight of the concrete blocks that actually support the marquee. Yeah. Each one of those alone are probably in the best part of 3/4 of a tonne, which is actually supporting it, and I think there's 16 up there. Other areas where we've just got to make sure that everything's safe and secure, obviously for wind and what have you. So it's quite challenging, but it's something that we can do.
It's so unique too, because up there, I know on Cup Day it's very popular for the party side of things, but it's one of the best views in the house too, isn't it? Yeah,
it's a top place for viewing. Directly opposite that, on the inside of the greyhound track, we're going to have another large screen. That should be excellent viewing for those people that are up there that can actually glance across the track and have a view of the big screen as well. So, it would be one of the better places on the track to actually view a race.
Yeah. And the logistics of putting that marquee up, they're working on it now, John, but how long typically until the whole thing's fully ready?
Oh, they're pretty well versed with what they do. By the end of the day, it'll be just about complete. Yes, and it's a large marquee, but that will be hopefully completed by the end of the day. Following that, it's then the setup inside the marquee, which tables, chairs and totes and everything else that's added in there, and the theming of it as well. So, big job.
Yeah, it's massive. I take my hat off to you and the team. And in terms of the marquee, as we mentioned, there's public access there along with the Witches and the Boys Get Paid. But in terms of the public area, there's a lot of room for them, and also undercover and twiggers as well.
That's correct. Yeah, so we've got, for the public, we've got the stable roof, we've got the twiggers ground floor. We've also got, hopefully, been a nice day, we've got the Lindau lawn. So there's good viewing areas for a lot of people. Yeah.
And there's going to be an owner's tent set up down on the lawn as well, so a bit of an area for people to go and have a beverage before the race and mingle?
Correct. Yeah, no, that area alone, we expect that to be rather busy. Numbers for owners, when they're all there. So, they've got an area of their own where they can just have a quiet drink prior to the race, and hopefully wish everyone good luck at the same time.
Yeah, they'll be positioned right in front of that screen too, so there'll be plenty of noise. And of course, one of the biggest jobs that you've had to undertake, John, was the resurfacing of the track. Now, we know that is a massive task, but can you explain to the listeners exactly why you do undertake that?
Yes, it's pretty much, in plain terms, the track gets to a certain stage where it gets perished. That was quite evident at our derby meeting. The drivers and horses were coming off the track and they were covered in track material. The reasoning behind that is it gets to a point where the material itself doesn't drain freely. It's become a little bit powdery, hence the reason that's why we do a resurface.
And what type of material? Looking at the track, it looks like a bit of shell and clay in there. What type of material are you using, and where do you get that from, I guess?
Yeah, no, there's no shell in it as such, but it's pretty similar to the previous product we had on it, but this one's got a little bit of chip in it. So it actually comes from Oamaru. It's called an arena mix. The view is that we have the chip in through the winter months, obviously just to keep everybody a little bit more better in the wetter months at least, but following that, come the summer we can just put the direct sand straight on the track. So it's pretty much a 50-50 blend what's there at present.
And of course the weather's a key element leading into Saturday, and I know at the Harness Jewels last year at Cambridge, well every day I guess, you live on the Met service in those weather maps, don't you?
Yes, well last week I think I was looking at 4 different weather forecasts trying to pick the best one, but the day ahead for Saturday at this stage, it is supposed to be okay, which looks a darn sight more favourable than what it did last week. We've got wet days coming up between Tuesday to Friday, but I believe the track will, as soon as it stops raining, it'll be a good track and a good surface to race on.
Yeah, exactly, because depending on how much moisture is around, you've got to make a call, don't you, on what you do to that track, and it can be literally a fine line in making that decision?
Yeah, there is. There's a number of things that we can help to assist the track in general, especially if there's excessive weather or at least rain that's going to fall. We'll roll and seal the track prior. That does help immensely. It allows that heavy rain just to run off the track a little bit easy. But once again, we've also got the tools, with the track conditioners and graders to actually make a top if the weather's all right. So we're lucky and fortunate enough we've got the machinery to do what we want.
Yeah. And on race day too, it doesn't end for you, because in between races there's multiple activities. You've got kids' carts, you've got parades, you've got a horse and carriage, so you're constantly monitoring the state of that track and what's happening?
Yes, my role is just to keep an eye on it, and the guys on the track, just to fire the shots to them. But I'm lucky I've got a good crew around me. My main man is Chris Pearce, who's he's a top guy and he does wonders and helps us along.
Yeah. So come the end of Harness Jewels Day, obviously you're very proud of your team and the effort you've all put in, but where does the satisfaction come from when you've got it all over and done with?
Well, obviously, we want the day to be a success. We want people to come away and say, well, that was a good Jewels. For that to happen, obviously we want the track right. We want people to enjoy the day, the activities that we've got, and just that they come away and just think they've had a special day.
Yeah. Well, I think you guys are absolutely on target to do that. Congratulations on the work so far and all the best for the week coming up. Thanks for taking time out. I know you're busy.
Yeah, thanks, Jess. No, it is a busy week ahead, but it's in some ways it's a mini cup week, but the planning around it has just got about as intensive as a cup week. But we're hoping for a great day.
And in social media news headlines around the world, starting off with New Zealand, you can keep up to date with Maddie Williamson at the World Driving Championships in Sweden with the latest updates via our Facebook page. Also be sure to stay tuned for race-by-race updates on IRT Harness Jewels Day on our social media accounts also. From Australia, check out Harness Racing Victoria for the very latest news, including an interesting new bonus for breeders on offer in Victoria. And from the USA and Canada, you can check out the Harness Racing Fan Zone on Facebook for the latest from North America, including the recent interviews with Yannick Gingras, who's competing in the World Drivers' Championship representing the USA. Well, of course, as is the theme for the episode this week, IRT Harness Jewels, and we are at Addington Raceway with Keryn McElroy. And Keryn, a lot of people are wanting to know what is on offer on the day and how ticket sales are going. Some people have left it late. So, firstly, how are you coping, and how's the hospitality ticket sale going?
Hi Jess, no, the team is rearing to go. 4 more sleeps, very exciting, and John Denton is telling us great weather is planned, so very exciting to hear that. How tickets are going? Fantastic. However, by all means, there's lots of options. Silks and Satin Lounge, our premium hospitality package outside the sponsors area is available on our level 2 in the Metropolitan stand. Lanston champagne, all the goodies from our chef, and being on level 2, as you know, is uninterrupted views over the track. So there's that option. Alternatively, more laid-back option, spectators bar. It's going to be called the Spectators Punters Lounge on the day. It's sort of a more relaxed, join your friends, casual seating environment, and flows out nicely to the Lindau lawn, so you can go out and see all the action there. Then there's a lot of public options as well, and that is a gold coin donation to St John's, which is great. Come along, free, and we've got public areas, which I believe John's gone into about the marquee that's on top of the IRT stables rooftop.
Yes, he sure did, and I note too, Keryn, that there are limited options if you're looking silk and satin lounge, and also spectators. They are selling well, but one fine touch with the silks and satin is you're going to have a pianist there on the day, so it's going to be very, very flash by the sounds of things.
Yes, no, definitely. We're very fortunate enough to have a pianist in there. Nice background sort of music, and a good way to complement the day while you can still look at the racing and have betting options in between.
Yep, definitely. Okay, so limited numbers there, punters, if you are wanting to get your tickets. Now, owners-wise, we've had a lot of inquiries about that. You guys were well onto it on Friday. As soon as the fields were out, that piece of information went out on email. Now, in terms of the owners' pack, so they can pick them up from Tuesday to Friday and also on the day. So you and your team, you're going to be pretty busy here in the office.
Yes, absolutely. Definitely. So, as you say, they can pick them up from tomorrow onwards. From 9 o'clock, the office is open from 9 to 4. That's the Addington Raceway office during the week, not the admin desk in the foyer in the Met stand, so the office. If they're wishing to have their entire pack, racebooks will be naturally available on the day, so if they want to collect all the information at once, I would suggest collecting actually on the day on Saturday.
Right, okay, and that is up to the individual. So if you are part of a syndicate, you do have to be responsible individually for your tickets and full information in those race packs. Now, outside of the owner's side of things, Keryn, you and the team frantically busy putting the final touches in terms of entertainment. So you've got a few surprises that you want to keep up your hat, which is understandable, but you can let us know about a few things happening on the day.
Oh, of course. I think one thing that we haven't mentioned before is going to be quite cool. We're going to have a brass band.
Cool. Yeah.
That's pretty exciting. Also, we've got a mix of the Bantina and the Turners and the Easterns. They play really well together. They're going to be based on the Lindau lawn, and thought it was a good to do that because we've got the fillies and mares and the colts and geldings, so let's mix up the bands as well. There's also going to be a little Chuck, this amazing guy that's a one piece, he does everything. He's going to be based in the Twiggers area, which is a public area as well.
Yeah, so lots going on in terms of entertainment on the day. Great to see too, kids' carts are going to be present, first time in Harness Jewels history, so that's really cool.
Oh, that is extremely special, and I mean, they're the up and coming of our industry, so I think it's really important and special that first time at Addington that we're hosting the IRT Harness Jewels, and the first time they had the opportunity to be a part of the day. Yeah,
very much looking forward to that. And of course, you guys like to celebrate success, and one of the most successful parts of harness racing in recent years has been the rehoming efforts and life after racing, and you guys are really keen to celebrate that on the day.
Oh, absolutely. It's a huge part of Addington Raceway's values is we care not only about our patrons, owners and licence holders, but our horses. Animal welfare is huge for us, and it's lovely with the horse and carriage for the winners.
Yes.
They're hopping on, but a nice story there of it's a standardbred that used to race there, which is very special to have on the day, and the driver is actually Bevan Heron.
Great.
That used to train, and a few good trotters, I'm sure. You'll probably recognise that
really
name.
well known with Nigel Craig and Idle Pride and the likes of Uncas, so really special to have him and Kayleen McCormick both associated with the day.
Oh, absolutely. She'll be assisting him as well, and for her to be the third female licence holder in the country is incredible. So that is is really nice to have them a part of the day here at Addington.
So what will happen is winning connections, obviously the carriage can't fit the whole Witches Syndicate, should spellbound win, so you've got a cap there, a sensible cap of 4, so I guess it's, before the day you're encouraging people just to have a bit of a think about, should they win, what might happen?
Oh, absolutely. That's what we're recommending, because with all the entertainment that's going throughout the day, timings for them to enjoy the ride as much as possible, and then come back and celebrate some champagne in the Bricken's Winners Bar.
Yep, absolutely. And of course, before the first race too, there's going to be a special presentation with the Witches Syndicate and Westview Racing with Born to be a Star.
Yes, I think this is extremely special, as I said, with animal welfare. Seeing rehoming, it's going to be really exciting, and seeing all these horses that hard work and run around the tracks and going to a new home and being retrained. It's a special time all round for the Saturday the 1st of June here at Addington.
Yep, we'll kick it off with style. So that is before the first race, so make sure you're here nice and early. Gates open 10:30, is that right?
Yeah, that's right, 10:30, and gold coin donation to St John's.
Fantastic.
And then hospitality packages commence at 11:30.
Yep.
With the first race being 12:15.
Fabulous. Make sure you're here nice and early. Reminder too, limited seats and tables are available. Keryn, thank you so much for your time. I know you're flat out at the moment. Fantastic work so far, and all the best to you and the team for Saturday.
Oh, thank you. We're really looking forward to a great day, and all the efforts that the team has done has been solely for the industry, because we're so passionate about it. So good luck to everyone for Saturday.
Airpark Canterbury is Christchurch's only 24/7 privately owned off-site airport car parking. If you feel strongly about supporting privately owned business, support Airpark Canterbury. It's only a short drive to the airport in the Airpark Canterbury free shuttle. So if you want the cheapest parking option around, try Airpark Canterbury. Call 0800 Airpark or online at airparkcanterbury.co.nz.
There's always a park for me at Airpark Canterbury.
Well, it's a pleasure to welcome on to the special edition of the Harness Half Hour. Of course, we're looking ahead to IRT Harness Jewels Day on Saturday. And joining me from IRT is Richard Cole. Richard, thank you so much for your time, and once again, thank you for sponsoring the Harness Jewels. I bet you and the team are really excited about Saturday.
Oh, good morning, Jess. Look, thanks for having me on. We can't wait. Look, it's been a nervous few days. The last few days, obviously, with our flight to Christchurch and the delays that we've incurred there. But safe arrival this morning means that everybody's going to take their part on Saturday. Preparation work that's gone on my team has been fantastic, along with the support of both Addington and Harness Racing. So we really can't wait to get down there and be part of this fantastic occasion.
Yeah, it's fitting, isn't it, given that you've been involved with, the most amount of Australian contenders ever, getting them across the ditch to New Zealand safe and sound. And I guess it just goes to show, Richard, how much effort goes into the day-to-day runnings of IRT when we have the spotlight on the transport side of things, and things like fog happen.
Look, absolutely. The blood pressure has been through the roof. I'm sure there's been a lot more grey hairs have appeared in the last few days, and I guess from our point of view, it's always very challenging when we don't have the ability to control the weather, and that becomes very challenging for my team, and obviously also very distressing, because all we want for a day like the Jewels is to ensure that all trainers, all owners get every opportunity to compete at the very best level that they can. And we're just very thankful that the gods played their part this morning with the weather, and we were able to get the plane in safely, and everyone's going to take part in what looks like it's going to be just a wonderful day of harness racing.
Most certainly. And you and the team, I'd imagine, will be there front row centre on Saturday, Richard?
Yeah, we're coming down in big numbers. There's about 8 of our team flying down on Thursday morning. We'll obviously participate in Thursday evening's cocktail night and the golf day Friday, which sounds like Greg O'Connor's going to put on a great day there. And then we're hosting about 45 clients at the event on Saturday. Really looking forward to that, and just hoping for just a wonderful day weather-wise and harness racing-wise. Looking at some of the draws, clearly it's going to give a lot of people of every opportunity, and some magnificent types going around on Saturday as well. There really is some seriously promising horses coming through, and very exciting for everyone involved.
Oh, exactly. And just a bit about IRT itself. Richard, the IRT Harness Jewels is not the first time that you've supported harness racing. You've been staunch supporters for a long time.
Look, we have. It's been a big part of our business model in the past, and continues to be. I'm fairly new into IRT, only 3 years young, but I have to say my involvement personally also in harness racing, I've actually been really excited about the involvement in the industry and the people that are part of the industry. A very down-to-earth bunch. Everyone's very much about encouraging each other and the successes that come with it. So, look, just thrilled that we could be part of such a fantastic event. We hope to obviously continue that on into the future, and really just thrilled that, we can put on a great day at Addington on Saturday, and here's to a fine day of racing.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I know you're a busy man. You're in the car on your way to meetings and the likes, and your phone's going crazy with all the good news from this morning. So, Richard, thank you. Thank you so much to you and the team at IRT, not only for sponsoring, but of course the effort that you went to this morning getting those horses from Australia. So very much looking forward to Saturday, and we'll see you and the team there.
Thank you, Jess, for your time, and just want to say a very big thanks to my team. There's been a lot of sleepless nights. I know Greg Pope has had very little sleep in the last 3 or 4 days, and he's just done a wonderful job to facilitate to make this happen. So let's bring on Saturday, and here's to everybody. A very successful day for all those competing, those drivers, trainers, owners, and all the people that go into making this a spectacular day. All the very best.
Airpark Canterbury is Christchurch's only 24/7 privately owned off-site airport car parking. If you feel strongly about supporting privately owned business, support Airpark Canterbury. It's only a short drive to the airport and the Airpark Canterbury free shuttle. So if you want the cheapest parking option around, try Airpark Canterbury. Call 0800 Airpark or online at airparkcanterbury.co.nz.
There's always a park for me at Airpark Canterbury.
Well, of course, as part of our special edition of the Harness Half Hour this week, we're going to focus on the Harness Jewels markets with Richard Wilson this time around. And Richard, thanks very much for joining us again. And yeah, D-Day's almost upon us. But just in summation, before we go through race by race, how has the wagering been since the final fields have come out?
A little bit quiet, I think it's fair to say, Jess. The multi-punters have certainly been getting involved, but there hasn't been many individual sort of single bets of note, really.
Okay, I guess as we get closer to the day, and now the Australian horses have landed in Christchurch, which is a bonus, people will probably start to get a bit more animated. In terms of finding those markets on the TAB site, what's the best way to do so, Richard?
Yep, it's a little bit tricky because the normal way we don't go far enough ahead. So if you go to tab.co.nz, click on racing, and then on the right-hand side under the big banner promotions, there's a purple banner there, IRT Harness Jewels, bet now. So click on that. That'll take you to, I think it takes you to race 1, and once you're into race 1, you can go between races as you normally would. So there's a big purple banner there, or if you're in HRNZ looking at the fields, there's a TAB icon on each field. You can click on that, and that'll take you straight to the betting as well.
Fabulous. Okay, so we're going to go through race by race and highlight some of the major bets, whether the horse is still in the field or not. So starting off with the 4-year-old mare's Diamond, Richard, where did the markets go in the futures there?
Yeah, well, in the futures, we opened Al Mac, the favourite, at $1.40. Was $1.50 for a couple of weeks, late April and early May, and then closed off. She regained form and closed off at 135. Close to 450 multis include our MAC there in that futures market. The Aussie major occasion opened at 7, hit $8 for a time when there was no money for her. There was a little bit of a question mark whether she would come or not. And then a couple of wins and it confirmed that she was coming, closed at $6. Very few single bets in this division. This is possibly one of the fewest single bets there. In the final field market, our MAC opened the $1.22 dominant favourite with major occasion $7.50.
Okay, on to race number 2, which is the 2-year-old Trotter's Ruby. How's that market looking?
Yeah, this should be a great race, Jess. The big mover here, Tailored Elegance, opened at $9. It got out to $10 a week or two after that opening, and then has been crunched right into $2.40. The best bets there, $300, $500 and $800, all at the $7 mark. Ultimate Stride was the $2.20 favourite, out to $4. Muscle Mountain $2.50, out to $3.50. They've had solid support in multis, those two, and in the final field market we opened Ultimate Stride $4 into $3.70. There's a $3,250 bet there at that $4, and the other bet to note, $200 on Bolt for Brilliance at $51.
Oh, nice long odds there around Bolt for Brilliance. Race 3 is the 2-year-old Filly's Diamond.
Yeah, Sweet on Me has been pretty dominant most of the season. Just one blip on the radar there. $1.35 she opened into out to $1.45. Close to 300 multis include Sweet on Me in that futures market. The best act is Spellbound, $7.50 into $5.50, and then did go back out and closed at $7.50 after a disappointing run at Addington. There's $400 bets and a $200 bet at the $7.50. Futures mover there, Amazing Dream, opened at 11 and is into $3.60. Of course, she lowered Sweet On Me's colours there. In the final field market, Sweet On Me $1.60 and Amazing Dream $2.80, out slightly to $2.90. Spellbound steady at that $7.50, and a little bit of a move on Tiffany Rose 21 into 16.
Yeah, fascinating market, that one. Race number 4, the 2-year-old Colts and Geldings Emerald. The 2-year-old boys competing.
Yeah, a bit of a shuffle up in this one, Jess. Smooth Deal opened our $1.70 favourite, was in as short as $1.55, and then got the blows when the big black cloud came over him, out to $3.90. He was withdrawn last week, of course. One change, $3.20, got as high as $3.40, and then closed the $1.90 favourite there. Flying Even Better was $5.50 out to $6.50, and then crunched into $2.90 when Smooth Deal came out. The best act in futures betting was Bad to the Bone, actually. $400 bets at both 26 and 21. The final field market here, very quiet so far. One change, the $1.45 favourite, Flying Even Better at $2.90, and Virgil, the third favourite, a big gap here, he's at 14.
Okay, the 3-year-old Trotter's Ruby, and this has been a market with many changes as well. What shaped up in the futures odds there?
Yeah, a lot of action here, Jess. And Harchicam opened at $1.35, but he did hit $2.10 and then back to $1.90 with his galloping antics in a couple of starts. $300 at $2.10, the best bet there, and also a $500 bet at $1.90. Oscar Bonavina, he was added to the market on May 17 at $2.30, but he became in a bit of trouble, didn't have enough money, got out to $5.50, and then, of course, had to be withdrawn. The futures mover, though, a big mover here, Tickle Me Pink, 21 into $3.20. Wow. The best bet there, $1,000 at 21. So we're sweating on Tickle Me Pink a little bit there. And there's a $450 bet on One Apollo at 31.
Okay, and I guess final field-wise, it looks pretty quiet, but how does that market shape up?
Yeah, the final field has been a bit quiet. Enhance Your Calm, the $1.70 favourite, Tickle Me Pink, $4.80 in slightly to $4.50. A lot of muscle, 9 into $8.50. Overzealous has got some support at longer odds, especially in top 3 bets. She's 71 into 51.
Yeah, plenty of heartfelt bets, I'd imagine, on Overzealous there too. Good luck to the connections. The 3-year-old filly's Diamond, Princess Tiffany, opened the early favourite.
Yes, indeed, in the futures market, $1.48. Did get out to $2.20, back into $1.75. The two best bets there, $2,000 at 2 and $1,000 at $1.85. Bella Montana, the big mover there, $5 on opening into $1.90, favourite for a time, and then back to $2.20. both those horses very solidly backed in multis in those futures markets. In the final field, Princess Tiffany opened 155, out as high as 175, back to 160, $1,000 bet at $1.70 the best there, and Belle of Montana 230. Into 195 and then back to 220. There was early on Saturday quite a few multis. They were going multi for multi, these two horses, but now just in the last over the weekend and yesterday, Princess Tiffany starting to look like the clear favourite. And the other one in the market, Kayla Marie at 16. There's a few small bets going on there, but the rest are pretty friendless, except of course, believe it or not, for the emergency, the $200 bet on Donegal Art Chokin at 200 to 1.
All right, well, good luck to that punter as well, spotting the value. Race number 7, the 4-year-old Entires and Geldings. This is always competitive, but Turn It Up, I'd imagine, would have had support from the get-go.
Yes, he did. Opened at $2.50 and, of course, closed at $1.35. That's a reflection of his dominance and also the horses that have come out. $3,200 bet at $2.90, $1,000 at $2.60, the best there. $550 bet on Ashley Lopez at 7. Spankham, he was right up there in the market, $3.20, out slightly to $3.60. He came out on the 4th of May. In the final field so far, Turn It Up opened the shortest favour of the day, is $1.15. So we're not seeing any single bets there, but a whole stack of multis. And Ashley Lopez, a couple of $1,000 bets there at $6.
Yeah, of course, the former Harness Jewels winner Ashley Lopez, $6 that market. The 4-year-old trotters Ruby, and Sunday's Sun's been a revolution this season.
He has. He's putting it all together. I still have noticed the odd gallop after the line in the Row Cup and things, but during the race he's been very good lately. Opened in the futures market at $4, ridden right to $2.80. The top 4 here are very good horses. Majestic Man, $3.80 into $3.20. King's Landing, the bit of a drifter, $2.50, our opening favourite, out to $4.50. And Winterfell, $4.80, out to $5.50, back to $4.50. Best bets, $1,000 on Winterfell at $5.50, and also $5, and another $1,000 at $4.50 as well, and a $200 bet on Wee Man Trouble at $51. In the final field, Sunday Sun cementing his favouritism, $2.60. There's a $6,700 bet at that $2.60, so he's into $2.40. $500 on $500 also at the $2.40, so he's really cementing his place as the favourite. Winterfell has been $3.80 out to $3.90. Majestic Man steady at the $4.60, and King's Landing $4.60 out to $4.70. A few multi-bets going on those three, but hoping for a very exciting race there.
Yeah, very evenly contested, the 4-year-old trotters Ruby. And the last of the day, the 3-year-old Colts and Geldings Emerald. How's that market, Richard?
Yeah, well, Ultimate Sniper was the dominant 3-year-old early on. He was $1.40 into $1.35, out slightly to $1.65, but he was, of course, withdrawn on the 16th of April. Jesse Duke opened $3.50, got out to $3.80, back into the dominant favourite $1.85 when the stablemate came out. Grand Chico, a bit of a mover there, 21 on opening. If anyone got on there, that was good shopping, it looks now. Closed at $3.60. Heisenberg also opened at 21 into 9. Plenty of multi-bets include Jesse Duke, but not a lot of single action on that race either. $250 and $200 bets on Mighty Flying Art at 41, and a $200 bet on Double Rocket at 26. If you're looking for longer odds there in the futures. In the final field, Jesse Duke, $1.35 out slightly to $1.40. Grand Chico is $5.50. There's a $500 bet there at the $5.50, and Heisenberg has been 16 into 14, $150 bet on at the 16, and quite a few multis there on Heisenberg as well.
Okay, so that is a race-by-race look at the 2019 IRT Harness Jewels. Richard, thank you so much. And where will you be enjoying Jewels Day? I know you'll be working, but are you up in Petone watching the action?
Yeah, I'll be. I hope I'm enjoying it. Yes. I'll be in Petone in the office, changing the odds around and trying to make $1 for the industry. Wish me well.
Yeah, I do, and I do not envy you at all with 9 Group 1 races to keep an eye over. It's not going to be an easy task. Richard, thank you so much for going through that for us. Really do appreciate it, and we'll catch you next week with the wash-up.
Yes, very good. Hopefully we'll have some good stories, hopefully a few for me, and I'm sure there'll be plenty for the punters as well.
And harness racing coming up this week. Of course, Thursday night we have Forbury Park in Dunedin. Friday night, Alexandra Park will be in action in the far north. And Saturday, it is IRT Harness Jewels Day at Addington Raceway. First race, 12:15. On Sunday, Ashburton Trotting Club will compete there, and on Monday, of course being Queen's birthday weekend, the Invercargill Harness Racing Club will hold their meeting on Queen's birthday Monday. And that is it for this week's Harness Half Hour. Thanks to Airpark Canterbury and HRNZ Marketing. Tune in next week for a very special IRT Harness Jewels episode, including live aftermath interviews. And don't forget the podcast is available via the HRNZ website, HRNZ Facebook page, the Punters Lounge on tab.co.nz, Spotify and iTunes. Enjoy IRT Harness Jewels Day. We'll catch you next week.